Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Friends from Work. I'm Tom, this is Sean, and on today's video, we're going to be talking about Dahmer, the Netflix, I would assume, limited series. I highly doubt doing another season.
Spoiler.
But yeah, before we get into that, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment throughout this episode if you agree or disagree with our thoughts. And also, follow us on Instagram, friendsfromwork_podcast. If you don't have time to watch the whole video, the whole throughout thing, just watch the clips. I'll be posting there daily, about 3 to 5 clips per day on Instagram. So go follow us there. Obviously, subscribe here. You'll see the shorts here as well. So yeah, I just want to get all that stuff out of the way. Now, I'm going to let Sean take it off because he's pretty good with these intros regarding shows, and then we're going to go from there. We're freeballing. I don't got my notepad today, so we're just going to go with the flow with it. So,
all right, start off, I guess, when he was talking about limited series. I guess they released the Dahmer tapes or something right after. But I know it's not continuing. Yeah. I'm just saying maybe some more content. I don't know how intrigued I'll be to listen to those. I kind of like the Ted Bundy tapes, but Dahmer was basically, just like the name said, it was about Dahmer. It was a reimagining, I guess. They tried to do it shot for shot. A lot of the things I didn't realize were based in real life. If you remember that scene where she freaks out in the courtroom, where she's like, "I hate you, I hate you."
I figured that had to be
That's
real.
real. Like, and it's like I watched the video where it's side by side.
I knew that had to be real. Because I assumed obviously majority of this had to be real.
Yeah.
Actually, they're gonna like.
Well, I didn't realize it was that real. Is what I'm saying. Like, I knew the people were real. I knew that Glenda, that was her real name. I knew a lot of that was real. I just didn't realize like that was like shot for shot. Like, I used to watch a video of her doing it side by side, and it was really impressive. But Dahmer was just about his life, more so his adult life. They go back and forth, do a little flashbacks of trying to dive into.
But it's pretty much post high school.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, even the flashbacks are really after high school, but. Just give you some insight to his life. A lot of disturbing scenes, but it gets into how he was getting his victims, what it was like, then how he got caught, and then what his jail life was like, or prison life, I guess, to start. They get into that a little bit. It's pretty quick. Yeah. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was intrigued by it because, he's 57, and I wasn't really alive during the time when it happened. So, and I really don't follow a lot of the serial killer stuff. So, like, I'll be honest, like, it's going to come to a shock. Like, I didn't know Dahmer ate people, like, until, like, this show came out.
Like I was telling you.
Until recently.
Yeah, it happened. I am old, but it happened in 91. I think he got caught, and I was born in 89. So, like, I don't really know much about it. But I was telling Tom that I always, for some reason, I had Dahmer and Hannibal Lecter in my head mixed up. Because when he got, I don't know why, but when they showed him like living in poor Milwaukee, I was like, I thought Dahmer was rich, but that was Hannibal Lecter. Like when he was like, so I guess, and he wasn't really eating people like Hannibal Lecter. Like Hannibal Lecter was like really eating people. He was just like weird, like that's why Dahmer was strange because it was he did eat people, but he was like drinking their blood. He was saving their skulls. He was just disturbed. He didn't I wouldn't even say he was a cannibal. He was just like a weirdo. He liked testing stuff out. And they dive into that when he's a young kid, his dad gets him into taxidermy and they would like operate on roadkill.
Honestly, if you see any serial killer or any person who does taxidermy, just don't hang out with them. If you've seen Bates Motel, anything that relates to taxidermy, if you know that they've killed people,
them or their son is a serial killer.
Yeah, like it's not like we do for a hobby, then we donate to charity. Like it doesn't correlate.
Yeah, that was strange, and it does. It also a great thing about the series was it dived into his dad's mindset, where like he was like, did I turn him into this? Yeah,
that was really interesting.
That was really interesting.
They really just kind of show like the parents are always in the background, but they were really in the forefront for the series.
I think that's what they were trying to do, like kind of shine the light on the people who, like Dahmer was obviously the main character, but they shined a light on the people who it really affected. His dad, his mom, Glenda, the neighbor. Like she was, I think for 3-4 years she was complaining about him. 2-3 years. It was multiple years. She was complaining about him.
Yeah, the smell
and the smells, and then like in the middle of the night she was waking up and he was beating his victims. And, like very strange. So it was also a racial issue coming into play. I guess it was a long time ago, but that was also a part of it that like poor minority communities, police didn't even take
it seriously.
Yeah, take it serious at all.
Yeah, no, I was really intrigued throughout the series. I have some entertainment wise, like it nailed it on the head for me, and educational wise, in the sense, I was really intrigued. Like I said, I came in as like a no-brainer. I don't watch like any docu series about any serial killers because I'm not a big documentary guy, so I'm pretty unknowledgeable anything regarding that. But as a newcomer to this, I would say that I was really, I was kind of, this may sound weird, but I was kind of upset they didn't show more gruesome stuff, because I felt like with him, like they were kind of showing, like they showed like the emotional side of it, but it kind of like, it would make me sympathize for some episodes with him in a sense of like stop interrupting this guy, let him do his thing. Like I feel like, yeah.
They didn't really show a lot of the actual killing and chopping up. It was more of the like him drugging them, and like watching a movie with them, and like trying to. I thought that was strange too. I know the LGBTQ community didn't like. There was a huge. Yeah, they were lashing out. I don't know why. Because
it was like under Dahmer was under the category of LGBTQ. The you know how it's like TV movies and stuff like that.
I didn't think about that. I mean, there's a lot of LGBT. Like he's like the first half of the movie, he's getting all his victims from gay bars, really. Yeah. So or gay clubs or whatever you want to call them. But that's where he's getting all his victims. I mean. And that's who all his victims were for the most part.
And he is gay.
Yeah, and he was too. So I felt like, I guess it could fall under that category. I don't know why it would be disrespectful to be under that category.
I mean, there's straight guys who.
What are they? Yeah, like are basically they're saying like, oh, we can only do nice stuff about LG. Yeah, like you can only make documentaries about nice homosexual people. You know what I mean? And then only they fall. Again, I don't want to get into the LGBTQ who they allow into their club or not.
Episode 4 canceled.
But it had a lot to do with that. I mean, he himself was gay. I mean, at no point was he ever with a girl at all. So I mean, he didn't really even ever say he liked guys. I just got the thing he wanted to kill dudes, so it was easier to, like dudes who thought.
Well, no, he definitely had.
I mean, I guess but
it portrayed it, or maybe you're just fascinated. I don't know.
But like in jail, he wasn't trying to do anything gay.
Yeah, true.
That's what I'm saying. I think he just. I mean, he might have been attracted to men a little bit, but
like just the physical features, because he was really admirable to. Like,
he was laying with that mannequin too. That was weird.
He's like, I love beautiful people. I'm like, okay.
But I don't know. But I don't know. I always felt like he just. I think at that time in the early '90s, gay men were easy targets because they were probably like disconnected from their family or disowned. People didn't like them, and. Like I said, gay bars are probably a good place to pick up drunk guys.
Bars do that. They do have alcohol.
Well, they'll go home with you as well. Like you can't just go to a normal bar and try and get a guy to like his first victim. That one guy where it was just some like hitchhiker, and he kissed him, and he was like, "Oh, just joking, man. Just joking, buddy.
Bro, just a prank. I got you." That was so fun. I'm not even gonna. That was. It
was again like I don't know if I guess I could classify LGBTQ, but he was gay.
Yeah.
And he was doing all his victims for the most part.
I do regret doing not as much research regarding, because I just remember the highlights of that was just he was under that category. Maybe there was a specific reason why they didn't like it besides that.
No, I read that too. It was really just like that they were like, you know what I mean, putting him in that category, even though that's I guess what he is.
Yeah. So I with the stuff I was a little. I mean, I think the most disturbing parts you saw, like of Dahmer, really, the only thing I can remember is like the blood drink. Was like that was weird. Like that was messed up. And then I mean, obviously when he got bludgeoned. Thank you.
Plummeted.
Yeah, yes. He got plummeted.
That's not even close. Bludgeoned.
He got bludgeoned to death with the
weight
curl
bar. Yeah,
that was like the most gruesome part, and like that was on Dahmer. Like I really do wish there was. I'll give him.
I think they did that for. I think they. Like I said, I think they really didn't do anything with the victims. They didn't show any like.
Was that more? Do you think that's more for like a respect thing?
Yeah, I think it was a respect thing that they weren't showing like these people get chopped up and eaten and stuff like. I don't know what it was, but now looking back, the only like you said, the most gruesome thing you saw really was Dahmer's face. Even the other guy that he killed in the final scene, because in the final scene, Dahmer's in jail.
Yeah,
some guy goes crazy because he finds out what Dahmer does, and he's a psychopath. And he's like, God sent me to kill you, Dahmer. And he kills Dahmer's friend who also murdered his wife. But that was
off screen.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But like, you don't even see him get murdered. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the only person you really see get messed up is Dahmer, and it's like the final scene of the show.
Yeah, maybe thinking back on it, because I was about to kind of go on like a slight tangent, but I guess thinking about it, I guess maybe there was for like a respect thing, or like let's not highlight his
I think
monstrosities.
I think that was also the moral of it at the end, where they were trying to kind of pay homage and do a Dahmer story, because obviously, I mean, no offense to the families of victims, nobody's just going to watch one about the victims, like paying homage to them. It's got to be about Dahmer.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah, that's how Hollywood works.
So I guess they did do right, where they really honored Glenda. They said that the underage boy that he killed, they said his name a lot of times. The deaf guy, they said his name a lot of times.
Tony.
Yeah, Tony.
That was the episode I wanted to bring up. Because what I was saying is like they kind of like, I don't want to say glamorized, because I feel like that's a strong word for Dahmer, but like I was very sympathetic for like certain parts. Like I was like because it made me forget that like he was an actual serial killer for some moments. But like I feel like episode 6, it was actually called Tony. They kind of reeled me back into it. I was like, oh geez, because it showed Tony like living his life and wanted to be a model. Like it was showing him living. Like
Dahmer ruled that.
Yeah,
I think that was kind of what they were trying to do, trying to make you feel a little bit bad for him, and then
I
remember
feel like they should have done that more though. I feel like that was my
showed
biggest
us more
thing.
about that. I don't know, the other black dude, they showed him building his little figurines and
but I'll say it wasn't a lot.
I guess so. But again, like I said, I know they were trying to
more even.
They were trying to pay respect to the family, because they didn't really show any of that.
No. So I guess not showing them being gruesomely murdered. I guess that is that does make sense. But I do wish how they did episode 6, Tony. They should have really kind of done that type of aspects more, because you kind of just saw this person or Billy or whoever or Steven, or you saw a person, and it was pretty quick. You couldn't really develop any emotions. Unfortunately, you couldn't develop emotions for majority of the victims when I was watching it, besides Tony and the gentleman who was painting his figurines, because they dived into them more. They showed them like as actually humans, not just purely victims. It was like with Tony.
There's a few I felt bad. The young kid was weird. The weirdest thing to me was the young Filipino boy, right? He was Filipino, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. His brother had been molested earlier in life by Jeffrey Dahmer, and he still goes home with Jeffrey Dahmer, knowing that he molested his brother and tried to kill him, basically.
Well, it made it seem like he was trying to like attack Dahmer. Like that's what he's like.
No, I think he just wanted the money. I think he said it like he just wanted the money. Well, I mean, he was a really small kid to think even Dahmer was a small guy, but Dahmer was still like 30, 40 pounds on him, bigger. So that'd have been weird. But that was a really weird one. It was an underage kid. That was kind of strange, because it got real awkward. Most of them were awkward because it's a lot of like them laying next to each other naked and heavy breathing, and like, so
they did nail the creepiness.
It was very creepy.
Maybe I should have watched this.
And then it was like it shed a light on again how the police just let things go. That young boy escapes these black girls, and the next door neighbor basically save him from Dahmer.
Yeah.
And Dahmer just rolls up. Dahmer thinking he's going to prison.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, no, we're just gay lovers.
Yeah,
and,
it was exactly that.
And they were
like,
just okay with it.
Yeah.
The police walk him back to the apartment. And he's
yeah.
like, the police don't even want to go to his apartment because they think they're going to get AIDS. It's the
The
90s.
cop was like, am I going to get AIDS when I walk in?
Yeah, like it was
ridiculous.
I guess maybe that was the part where the people might have found it disrespectful to the LGBT. But again, it's like,
that's exactly what
but
happened.
exactly
back
like,
then.
isn't that a part of like being accepted? Is like, we're telling the history, like, people,
that's disrespectful.
Yeah, that's how people used to act back then. It's like,
happened.
are we going to do a movie about the 70s and pretend like white people like black people? Like,
right.
That's just what happened. So like, I don't know what their biggest complaints were.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they disrespected anything in any way. I think just in general, it's a stain on there. But just like there's Italian serial killers and black, like that's just a stain on your subgroup that you got one of them. Like now you're one of us.
Yeah.
You guys got a serial killer
we all got
too. The heteros had all the other serial killers. You guys got a serial killer now too.
Look at that twin end. But yeah, I mean, my biggest, I see it a lot, so I want to bring this little topic up. I see it going around on the internet. Do you think that this stuff, when they do series regarding Dahmer or what do they do other series like actual entertainment series, not just documentaries?
Yeah, they did Ted Bundy, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, they did a Ted Bundy
movie. They did a movie.
They did
right?
a couple movies.
They did a Netflix movie and a real movie, right?
Yeah. So yeah, do you think this kind of like, quote unquote, inspires that, or like kind of like puts them on a pedestal, so to speak? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I get, like you
like
said earlier, maybe
glamorizes
glamorize or glorify them. I mean, I guess, they're always going to be like that. Like you saw in Dahmer, people were sending him money. They were sending him $50 for his autograph.
Yeah, they were making comic books.
He was making a lot of money. Like again, I didn't know this, that eventually the family sued him and just were taking all the money because he was making a lot of money in prison. because crazy people and women were like, oh my God, I didn't think you would ever write me back. And
Yeah.
I was like, that's so same thing with Ted Bundy, a lot of the other serial killers. So maybe, I mean, I guess it does in a way. I personally think that the people who might be inspired or that pushes them over the edge were probably going to do it anyway.
Right.
That's what I would say about that. Maybe this makes them do it sooner rather than later, but I just think like if you're broken like that, I don't think
at some point
some Netflix series is like,
gonna
oh man, I want to do
over,
this.
yeah.
I would not like kids to see this. I wouldn't let my daughter watch it.
Yeah.
When my family came home, I turned it off. Like my wife, my wife wouldn't even like that. Like,
I definitely. If you show us to kids, okay, we'll see that. We'll see a series about them real soon. Like, but yeah, I mean, overall, first off, I want to give 2 shout outs. Paris Barkley, he directed, I keep praising it, episode 6, and then he also directed the finale. And the finale really highlighted Glenda more so. I mean, that I can recall.
I think they paid homage to her because if you watch the whole thing, I don't know how true it is. I mean, I looked it up, but it seemed like she was trying to save these people's lives the whole time. She was been telling on them. They just would not listen to her.
They wouldn't even send a squad car.
They basically stopped sending squad cars. So I don't know much about that area. It might have been a very under-policed, high crime area.
They said that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, obviously, I mean, it's not an excuse, but that's just how it was in the 90s, especially in a minority neighborhood.
No,
so
it
did. I think they did a good job giving her credit. I'm sure her family and her, if she's still alive, I didn't look that up.
I believe it didn't say.
It didn't say anything, but I'm sure she loved to see it because the woman portrayed her very well. I think all the actors were giving shout outs. All of them did very good. Evan Peters, the woman who played Glenda, she's in a lot of stuff. I could probably think of 20 movies she's in from growing up, but I can't think of her name. But she was great. She did a great job. I thought Dahmer's dad, he was great.
Yeah.
His mom played a crazy person well. I didn't like the mom. I thought the dad he wasn't the best dad, but I thought he was trying to be a good dad. The mom was just like a crazy person who didn't want her kid. That was one of the stories too, where like, did they think the pills that she was taking make him crazy, or him having a crazy mom who didn't really love him make him crazy?
Well, I really like the dad aspect. Obviously, it's probably true. It's like the mom wasn't around, but like with the dad, it was like I feel like it's a realistic adaptation. Obviously, a realistic adaptation of like a dad trying to deal with a disturbed son, so to speak. Like it was just. He's like, okay, he's not interested in anything. Oh, he likes taxidermy.
Yeah, he didn't hate, like, he did not like Dahmer, or, like, so he would travel for work a decent amount. Yeah. And when he got older, I guess he would travel for longer. But he was thinking, oh, my son's 17, he doesn't even hear it. But he was trying. The mom was, she gave up. She had another kid and basically left.
Oh, yeah, it was her brother. It was with the same dad.
Yeah, on his brother, but when she had the other kid, she basically left.
Yeah.
The dad the whole time was basically, that's most of the flashbacks were showing either she was a drug addict or he was afraid she was on too many drugs while he was pregnant. Then after he was born, Dahmer was a
introvert. Yeah,
and then a very weird child, and he thought that the pills did it to him as well. And then they dive into that, and like I said, towards the end, he was, you know what I mean, he would be scenes where he was crying, like, did I turn him into this?
Yeah.
Like, did me? And I mean, I guess how could you not think that, being is like you introduced him to taxidermy? But I think it was probably a combination of the things. Like he was a crazy person, and then like, oh, he bonded with his dad over this, so he really liked it. And then I'm assuming opening up raccoons gets a little stagnant. And I don't know, it's probably a lot easier to catch a drunk gay dude than a raccoon in the middle of the night. I'm just saying, like, be tough to. They probably fight for a lot more too. They're not gonna drink your Pepsi that you spiked with a roofie.
Oh God, we're getting canceled.
What is the dosage to knock out a raccoon with some?
I don't know, maybe one. I don't know.
But all in all, did you like it at least?
I really did enjoy it. Like I was just really intrigued. Like every time Evan Peters was on screen, I was kind of blown away. Like I was really, because I mean, he was an American Horror Story. I saw a couple seasons of that. He was good in that, obviously. But it's just cool to see his range. Like he went from, I think the last major role he had that I can recall was X-Men.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done other stuff in between that.
WandaVision or whatever. So
but playing, that was a cameo. Yeah. But like a big thing that like everyone knew his name for, like making this much noise, was probably X-Men, if I'm not mistaken.
I would guess.
American
Horror Story, maybe.
Yeah, but like that's after that. That was before X-Men.
Well, he's in all of the American Horror Stories though, so it might have been after X-Men.
Yeah, true. But yeah,
they're still going now, aren't they? Or they just did the final season not too long ago.
I think they're final.
And I'm pretty sure he's in all of them. Maybe he stopped. I thought that was I thought that was the niche of the show, that all of them were in all seasons, just playing different characters.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's still.
I've only seen. I think there's like 8 or 10. I've only seen like half of them.
Yeah, I've seen maybe.
I've seen like the first 5 or 6. But he was great in that.
I've seen 2 and 3. Yeah, that's it.
I thought he did a great job playing Dahmer. It was, like I said, very interesting. I learned a lot. I had a lot of my facts about Dahmer and Hannibal Lecter mixed up. So I didn't know he was just some poor, basically white trash kid growing up, killing people, and I didn't know that he was how he did it, and that
there was a black woman. To it.
Yeah, a black woman who lived next to him who knew it the whole time, and then like that he was famous in prison. Also, didn't know that he got baptized on the day that John Wayne Gacy was.
What a lunar eclipse.
Yeah, and then like it was strange because John Wayne Gacy was in Illinois and he was in Milwaukee, so Wisconsin, and so they were so close. And like I said, that he got baptized on the day that John Wayne Gacy was executed for his crimes. That was strange. I didn't know that either. You think that would be like a big thing that everybody knew, but I never knew that. That was very interesting. They had a small scene where John Wayne Gacy kills a guy. Yeah. I didn't at first. I thought it was somebody I thought it was somebody that got like they do a scene where Dahmer gets a letter from a guy and he writes it to Dahmer. I thought like that was the guy, I thought he inspired more people.
I thought it was like that, but I thought that kid who showed up was Dahmer's older brother who was about to get murdered. I thought something like that.
Man, that would have been crazy. Yeah, it was John Wayne Gacy, and they really do nothing to explain it was him. Like you just realize it after he did it. But I thought it was like some fanboy of Dahmer, and like I was like, oh shit, that's something else I didn't know about Dahmer, that he was spawning other serial killers. But going back to our other point, now that I think about it, I guess we just never see any copycat killers. Why hasn't there ever been another Dahmer or another? True. I mean, I'm sure there is one that we haven't caught yet. I don't know.
We'll find out. See next episode.
That'd be. I guess that's strange to think about. Like, there could be a bunch more serial killers. They're better than Dahmer.
They could come here, like,
or they're like smart and rich. Like,
yeah. I mean, overall, I really enjoyed this this series. Like I said in the initial start of this episode, I came in knowing absolutely nothing besides the name. I didn't even know he like would cut. I mean, I knew he'd kill people. I didn't know it was homosexuals doing it. Like I didn't know anything. I was very newborn to this whole Dahmer, what would you call it? Situation.
Yeah,
saga. Yeah, there we go. And I was really intrigued by it. I'm glad that I watched it because it just taught me something. Like I'm not a big documentary guy, and I get really bored, and I'll just kind of space out. But overall, I was really glad I watched it. So that
I guess that wasn't really a documentary, though. That was like a.
No, I'm saying documentaries. Yeah. But this was like, I feel like
that's what you're saying. You could watch for somebody who doesn't like documentaries.
You could watch
this.
Yeah. If they do more of this type of thing, like they did a Ted Bundy one with Zac Efron, that was so good. If they do kind of like more like the entertainment aspect while also kind of teaching you like the horrific things they did, I think it'll put a lot more awareness on just educating people. I don't think they have to do that.
People love documentaries.
I guess I'm in the minority then.
People, especially girls. I watch some of them. There are some I like, some I don't. I've watched a lot of the ones on Netflix. There's some good ones. Evil Genius, My Sister's Keeper, The Staircase. Those are all very good ones if you ever get bored. But I really liked Dahmer. I thought it was very well paced. It was easy to binge. There was some moments where I was like, I'm going to take a break. A lot of these times with some of these shows are really dark and evil, and I've got a wife and kids, so I don't like watching people get murdered and possibly.
Watch 3 episodes every night.
That's what I'm saying. I think 3's my limit. I watch like 3, and I'm like, all right, that's enough murder and male on male grinding for me.
Baby, grind on me.
But I thought Evan Peters did a great job.
I
really liked it. Like Tom said, I think they could get a lot of success doing more docu-series, I guess you could say it like that, or reimagination.
What is it called? Realistic fiction? Yeah. No.
I wouldn't even be, I don't even think
like how do they like a Wolf, what do they call Wolf of Wall Street? What is that categorized as?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like it's
I guess Wolf of Wall, like I said, that's why I said reimagining. Yeah, I think that's what I would call it.
But yeah, overall, if you do want to see more Dahmer stuff regarding his high school, I told him every time we were watching a new episode of Dahmer, I was like, go watch My Friend Dahmer. I believe it's on Hulu, Netflix too. You can find it. Just look up My Friend Dahmer. That really showed his high school life. There was a scene when he's doing that whole thing that really kind of dived into it. I really enjoyed. I'm not going to spoil it, but I would highly recommend it if you want to know more about his high school life and how he kind of developed more and more, because he didn't kill anyone in high school. He was about the movie was based off a book about the guy who he was about to kill, his friend from high school, but obviously he still lived.
Did he try and kill him?
Yeah, it was like at the end. It just showed like he was almost a victim. He's like, "Come inside." Like my parents are home. It was during the time when if you're watching this, you watch the series when Dahmer's dad was gone, like that whole summer or that whole time, and
it was gone.
Yeah, it was during that blank space because that was like high school, and then when Dahmer's dad comes back, it was post high school.
He makes him go to the army, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that Dahmer was in the army.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, and he got kicked out, right?
Yeah, he got honorably discharged.
Yeah, honorably discharged. But I think he did. He was like he assaulted somebody, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, they never really go into it.
No, they didn't really.
They show a scene where it's about to happen, right? And then they cut to him coming home, but like he like was about to attack another soldier, like I think he drugs him and like tries to do something, but he doesn't get the formula right, so the dude's not all the way out or something like that.
But yeah, I would definitely recommend watching My Friend Dahmer, because it's during that time when they didn't really kind of discuss it. They discussed pretty much the start of Dahmer's rampages or killing spree to obviously when he died. So yeah, any other final thoughts? I'm out of ideas in my head.
No, like I said, it was definitely worth the watch. I really liked it. I'd give it a, I don't know, 8 or 9 out of 10. I thought it was really good. Yeah. All the acting was great. And I think they did a good job paying homage to all the victims and Glenda. Yeah, that's all.
Alrighty, same rating here, about 9 out of 10 for me. I really have no complaints. Maybe there's my new complaints, but even then, like I have no knowledge on this subject regarding Dahmer, so I have to go with a 9 out of 10 just for no knowledge. So yeah, other than that, guys, do us a favor, leave a like and subscribe down below. Comment also. I don't know. I said subscribe down below. You can comment down below as well.
Subscribe down below if you like.
Yeah, just all of it.
Subscribe wherever you want.
Yeah, up, down, left, right, center, upside down, whatever you got to do. Comment down below what you guys thought of this series and what we should discuss next episode. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, friendsfromwork_podcast. It's a long type, so the link is down below as well. Click on that. Follow us if you do not have time to watch these full episodes, which I understand. We're all busy people. I get it. So, yeah, other than that, I'm Tom. This is Sean, and we'll see y'all guys next week. Peace out.